everybody, it's Sarah T. Mack here, coming at you through Sober Nation, rolling out my second advice column here today, and just wanted to touch base with you guys and kind of talk about last week's column. Got a few comments on the site, so thanks for those of you who read it and responded to either that or my video. Like I said last week, sobriety is really all about community for me, so it's so great to be a part of the Sober Nation and hearing what you think and getting to be part of the discussion with you about a growing community in sobriety. This week's column is a little bit different. My question this week was along the lines of, is there just one way to stay sober? And this person who asked me, Sober and Confused, thanks for sending your question, Sober and Confused, was asking specifically about 12-step. He or she wasn't really feeling in step with 12-step, and they were curious if there's only one way to get sober. And there are lots of answers to this question. There are a lot of different opinions, and I'm sure that some people watching this video today or who read my column today will have very different opinions than I do, and that's all good. All's fair in love and war. Because we are all so passionate, those of us who have gotten sober, about the way we did it, because if we're staying sober, we want other people to be on board with us. And so today, my answer to that question was no, there's not just one way to stay sober. There are certainly ways that have been proven and work for a lot of people, 12-step being one of them. And part of my story is 12-step. However, I'm not a devotee of 12-step. I still go to meetings, not as regularly as I once did. In early sobriety, 12-step was a big part of my recovery story. And I love 12-step. I think it offers so many great things. The 12 steps themselves are amazing. The program is a really great structured environment for anybody, and especially someone who's new to sobriety. It gives you a really great way to kind of ease yourself in. It gives you some direction, guidance, and it hooks you up with a huge community of people that are going to support you and know what you're going through. So 12-step is definitely one of your best options, and if you don't know where to start, my advice would be to start there, because you're going to find, if nothing else, an amazing community of sober people who all know what you're going through and want to help you. However, if you're finding that 12-step isn't in sync with what you're doing, or you're feeling really unhappy there, or you change in sobriety. That's what happened to me. I was really all about 12-step for the first couple years of my sobriety, and then I started to change. And so my sobriety program changed. I drifted a little bit away from 12-step and started bringing different practices into my own sobriety, and I'm much happier now. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be the same way for you. You really have to find a solution that works for you, that makes you happy in your sobriety, and most important, helps you to stay sober. If you're going to stay sober, you need to be with a program that makes you feel fulfilled and makes you feel connected. Again, that's why I think 12-step is so great. It really connects you to people. But once you've established a community and you feel really strong in your sobriety, I think it's really fair to say that you can branch out and see what works for you. There's Smart Recovery. I know a lot of people that do CBT, which is a cognitive behavioral therapy, so that's a different approach. And some people take some Eastern approaches, meditation, yoga. There are so many different ways to come at your sobriety, and you don't have to pick just one. You can combine all these things, and that's kind of what I do now. I go to 12-step meetings sometimes, I do my other devotions. So it's really, you create your sobriety. And I know that there are a lot of 12-step devotees that will really say that what I'm telling you is wrong. And that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Live and let live. That's something I learned in 12-step. You have to let everybody find their own path. However, I am aware sobriety is a life and death thing. You really have to be vigilant about your sobriety, and so you have to find a path that allows you to do that. So I encourage you this week to check out the column below. Again, I'm Sarah T. Mack. I'm a sobriety and empowerment coach, and I've been writing this advice column here for Sober Nation, so you can connect with me below, and you can also connect below with the link to the whole advice column. And if you have any opinions about this video, I encourage you to read the full text of my advice below, because what works for you, if you're happy and sober, that's what's working. And that's my 2 cents, and I'm sticking to it this week. I'll see you next week here at Sober Nation for a new advice column. Until then, take care, guys.